radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
All right, here we go. Fade to Black. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, today's Thursday, September 18th, 2025. Getting my crystals all set up. I just sat down in the studio. All right. Okay. Yeah. I got to have these just right, and they have to line up, and I put a guitar pick right in the middle on this line on the thing, and I'm good to go. Yeah. All right. How you doing? Today's Thursday, September 18th, 2025. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Let's do this, man. Yeah. All right. This week on Fade to Black, Monday night, we had Katie Page, Snippy the Horse. Tuesday night was a no-show. Wednesday night, Mark Christopher Lee was here. That was last night, the Rendlesham UFO. Great conversation. Tonight is our once-a-month AMA AJA, where you get to ask me anything. It's very simple. Post your questions in all caps on our YouTube app. I realize you may be watching on another platform. I don't have 15 platforms up in front of me and chat rooms and things and questions. And I used to do that. Man, I'm too old. Chasing that stuff down. No, just one source, all caps in the YouTube chat. I can't even get all those questions answered in one show. All right. So no sense in spreading it around. And I used to think, man, you know, it's the fair, fresh, prudent thing to do is to stay up on Facebook and on Twitter and on your email and on Twitch and on and over on iHeartRadio and over on Spreaker and thing blah. No. Yeah, the Fade to Black chat room. Yeah, all those on our website. No. All right, all caps in the YouTube chat. All right, post your questions there. I will get to as many as I can once in a while. It depends on what kind of flow I'm in. Once in a while, I'll get to the end, and I'll get all the questions answered. And that's when I give these honest answers, but fast answers. One sentence, two sentences. And there's 2 sentences. And then there's other nights where I'm in the rapping mood, and I'll give a 10-minute answer to a question like, do you like custard-filled or jelly-filled donuts? 20 minutes, man. 20 minutes I'll do on that. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's get cracking. I have 6 events coming up. I've got the Conscious Life Expo, February 20th through the 23rd at the LAX Hilton. I've got the Contact Modalities Expo, May 1st through the 3rd at 2026. Delavan Lake at the Delavan Resort. Contacting the Desert, May 28th through June 1st, 2026. Tickets available this Thanksgiving Day. Then Peru for the Inca Celebration of the Sun with Brian Forrester, June 23rd through July 1st. And then the Monty Python Tour of Scotland, August 1st through the 9th. And then Peru and Easter Island, November of 2026. The links for everything that I'm doing are below. You know what to do. All right. I had an opening statement tonight, but that part doesn't matter. Let's just get straight to it, and let's have some fun. I really enjoy the AMAs. I do. I really enjoy the AMAs. Should I go with the alternative camera? Oh, man, why does this move? This moves on its own. I swear to God. I swear that moves on its own. and it's on lockdown. It's hard for me to move. But see, if I do this, then you can't tell where I'm reading from. Yeah, smarter to do it this way. Smarter to I'll start the show here. But we'll end up here, and then I'll come back here, and then we'll do it like that. All right, so post your questions in all caps. I just told you in the YouTube chat, and let's get this cracking. All right. Oh man, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, this is a great hangout. I'm going to be on today. I was on with Christina Gomez earlier, and we were talking about the rain. It's raining right now. Rained all day, rain all night, and sunny tomorrow though. And it's like anything else, when it's raining outside and you're stuck indoors. There's a certain thing about that that's really cool, and it's really cool when it lands on a Thursday, because I have so many shows that I do on a Thursday. I have 3, and I have other stuff that I need. And it just allows me to just sit inside with the rain and work. And it's a different vibe. It's so cool. Well, all day today in work, I'm just thinking, tonight's Vader night. Tonight is an AMA. Tonight is an AJA. Just happy. Just just getting ready. So, all right. With that, let's just get straight to it. And let's see. Up first, Jessica. Oh, see now. See, yeah, like that. Okay. Hola, Jimmy. Did you learn any Spanish while you were in Panama? That's a great question. That's a real question. And the short answer is yes, of course. The long answer is no. I'll stay on the short answer. Yes, of course. You get back to the United States after that, and nobody's speaking Spanish. I was in Indianapolis. There zero Spanish spoken in Indianapolis. And it just went away. By the time even then I was, very basic in my Spanish, but I could certainly understand nearly anything. And speaking it, I was pretty smooth. By the time I made it out to California, which was like 3 or 4 years later, I could still hear it, but I didn't like speaking it, because I just didn't do the language justice, and it just slowly faded away. Yeah. I'm going to stay on this for a second. When we first moved down there, my father and my stepmother were in the Army band. Okay. My dad was band leader of the Army band, the conductor, right? Okay. So they would leave and go on tour. They did this a lot. And thinking about this now, what they did was like totally illegal. I'm 14 years old, and they just split. Left money, gone for a week, 2 weeks. They would both go, the Army band is playing all over South America, wherever, man, probably Mexico and Costa Rica, but, Venezuela, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, Paraguay, Uruguay, everywhere, Argentina. And so they would just disappear. And I would be home alone. I was a good kid. No parties were thrown or anything like that. But let me get to the point with all of this. In the beginning, I'm 14, in a foreign country like that. And everybody down there, every American family, well, Panamanian families too, but every American family had a Panamanian housekeeper. All right. Yes. And gardener, not, but a housekeeper. And in a lot of cases, full time, like live-in housekeeping. And the quarters that were built for the families down there had a maid's room. And if you were lucky, if you were one of my friends whose parents were cool, you got the maid's room downstairs on the first floor, which had its own bathroom, right? Those were the cool kids in school. All right, so fast forward back to my point. Our housekeeper, the first one we had, her name was Mary. We had two over the time I was there. But the first one, both of them did not speak English. Any English. I didn't speak any Spanish. Not a word. So how do you get that done? Right? Okay, so I'm taking Spanish in school. Had to, it was required. Taking Spanish in school. And so that helped. And I had a Spanish book that I had all my friends. I'm going to call them up on the phone. And man, ask my housekeeper if she could not cook, if she could make this tonight, or have her not do my laundry, tell her not to make my bed, whatever it was. Right. And they would get on the phone, they would tell her in Spanish. But I slowly, trying to break down this communication, and we got pretty good at it over the years. And but that's the truth. Imagine I'm 14 years old. Can you cook? Speaking English slowly doesn't mean anything. Oh man. So yeah, all right. So there's the answer to that. This is why I like AMA night and AJA night. I've never told that story. No. Why? What? No. Comes out tonight. Love that. Okay. Coming up next. Who's this from? Dewey Hargis. Thank you, man. Thank you for that. Always strive to ask a good question. Okay, well, Dewey, let me find you in here. Where's your thing? And I will come back to that. Dewey, where are you? Oh my God, there's this many questions so far. Dewey, you're way down there. Oh man, I've got now I've got to speed it up. Dewey says, always strive to ask a good question. My question to you is, why is the powers that be not point the James Webb Space Telescope at 3i Atlas to see what could possibly be besides a comet? Okay, now, Dewey, that is a great question. That's a great question. And I'm going to answer that. Let me explain. Here's the sun. Oh, let me go like this. Here's the sun. Here's Earth. Here's the James Webb. 3i Atlas is over here. Where the James Webb is, if you turn it around, and James Webb is set up to go this way. But if you turn it around, it's going to, Earth is in the way, other things are in the way, plus the sun is in the way. And it may be, they might be able to focus it, but also maybe too close. Yeah, too close to the James Webb. James Webb is set up to look 50, 100, 1,000 light years, 1 billion light years into the universe. It's not set up to do imaging like that. But also, if it turns around, the sun is in between. So possible. Hubble has been in a position to make some images because of its position. So, but as soon as it comes around the sun, which is going to be October 29th, 28th, 29th, 30th, Halloween, we have a ton of stuff. Every imaging system, every telescope that we have out there, every piece of sensor data that we have to look at is going to be pointed at 3i Atlas for sure. And as it turns out, it's not the only interstellar object we have right now. Looks like we have two, and probably by the time this is all done, we'll have three. But that's why I know it's a great, honest, we have the James Webb. Why can't we? Yeah. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, and where James Webb is sitting out there. All right, let's see next. Let's go. Carl Olson. Jimmy, have you read the book, The Liberty Code? Oh, I've heard it's good though. If so, what is your thoughts? The Liberty Code is, if it's the book that I'm thinking about, is a book about conspiracies and a certain government running the world and trying to overthrow the power and the brotherhood that is behind the, when I say brotherhood, the gang, the white hats trying to throw and so that's what it's about. It's nonfiction. It's probably based on real facts, but I've heard that the book is really good. I haven't read it. It's probably a good Audible book. But no, I haven't read it. Carl, let me know if it's good. I've heard good stuff about the Liberty Code over the years. Let's see. Genocide questions in all caps are coming in. Renee Newman, our intrepid. Do you know what intrepid means? Our intrepid producer of the news. Jimmy, how many total episodes of Beyond Belief? Oh, okay, I'm going to start it over. Jimmy, how many total episodes of Beyond Belief will we see you hosting this season? Oh, okay. That's an easier question then. Probably because of when I started, 30. 52 episodes in a year. I came in about halfway through. Yeah, about 30, 20, 24, 30, somewhere in there. Yeah. Yep. Somewhere in there. Next year's a whole nother situation. Love doing that show though. I love doing that show. And Into the Vortex was great too. What I like about Beyond Belief, Into the Vortex was my show. And so there were certain aspects with it. The guest, the artistic side, the format, all of that. That was all on me and my decisions as a team, but it was my show. So, but there was a lot of responsibility too. And it was a bit much. Where Beyond Belief, the team takes care of everything. And it's really wonderful to have those kinds of editors and producers and writers, directors, and everybody else that's involved with the show, because you have makeup, you have wardrobe, you have lighting, you have camera, and everybody is really, really good. And then off in the other room where the producers and the directors are sitting and all the production assistants, they're over there cranking stuff out, running scripts and teleprompters and editing. It's just insane. But I don't see any of that. I don't have to worry about any of that. I just focus on the guest and stay on top of my game. And it's great when you don't have anything else to worry about, and that's the great part about Beyond Belief. We shot 5 episodes on Friday, and that's a long day for anybody. That is a long day. That's a day that you can't do it. You can't. It's just too much. It's too overwhelming. But for me, where I've got, a few thousand shows under my belt, I know what I'm doing. I'm not great or fantastic I'm just rehearsed. If I haven't gotten anything down by now, I need to hang up my hat. But so for somebody like me that has the experience in the background in this, I can go in with Beyond Belief and just sit down and focus and doing something like 5 shows, 6 shows if I had to. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Great question, Renee. 30 episodes this year. All right. Let's see. It's just all caps. I'm clicking on whatever is coming up with all caps. Genocide. Jimmy, I have to ask 3i Atlas, as it seems really interesting, thoughts on what you have heard behind the scenes. Well, I mean, okay. Well, I didn't kind of answer that. It was a different question. That was about the James Webb. I'm leaning more on the Avi Loeb data set side of things, and putting all that aside, because there's a lot of stuff to look at with Avi, but the 2 or 3 basic things that all tie together at the same time with it is that it just popped up behind Jupiter. It was hauling balls at 150,000 miles per hour. It comes in, it's interstellar, it's never been here before, so we weren't expecting it. It just pops up behind Jupiter. Whoop, there it is. All right, so there's that. But with the size and the vastness of space, how is it that an interstellar object heads straight for Earth? Straight for Earth. Go watch the movie Contact after the show tonight. Watch the movie Contact. The opening minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes of the film is a pullback of Earth. All right, pullback from Earth. And so it backs up, comes off of Earth, backs up. You see Mars go by, you see Jupiter and Saturn, right? And it's pulling back, heads out. The sun is getting smaller, Earth is getting smaller, keeps pulling back. And then our star system shrinks and it turns into a dot, keeps pulling back. The Milky Way galaxy shrinks down, turns into a dot, keeps pulling back. All these galaxies are zooming by. Galaxies, not stars. Galaxies, it keeps pulling back. And it just disappears. All right. Now, reverse that. You are 3i Atlas. Reverse that. And here comes Earth. That's crazy. Nuts. Huh. And so you have to ask yourself at some point that this object, out of everything in the universe, trillions and trillions and trillions of things, trillions of galaxies, trillions and trillions and trillions times a trillion planets, and everything that is out there. Earth? So what are the odds of that? Avi says, oh, it's 1 in 500. It is not. I'm going to argue with Avi. It's 1 in 1 trillion to the 10th power. That's the odds. And then take it to the next level on our elliptic. The same planet, 5 degrees off of our solar system and our planets orbiting the sun. 5 degrees off. Identical. So, yeah, just based on that, I'm very curious. Just based on that alone seems very intentional. Okay, HH is up. HH. You guys remember HH? H says, hey, Jimmy, thanks again for taking the selfie with me in Charlottesville. Was that Charlottesville? That was Charlottesville. I was thinking it was Delavan. Yeah, it was Charlottesville. Yeah, it was really cool. I was real nervous going on stage. No, you weren't. You were fine. And hope I wasn't too goofy. You weren't goofy at all, my man. That was so awesome. All right. What's the story of how you know Tom? Oh. All right. So let me clarify so everybody knows who Tom is. Tom is Tom Zutaut. Tom Zutaut, A&R guy. And I've known Tom, I'm not sure exactly when we first met, but if I was going to guess, I would say 85, 86. Tom Zutaut signed Guns N' Roses. And in my circle of friends back then, and it was a very, very tight circle, Tom Zutaut was part of that. And here's the other thing. And I've known Tom, geez, man, 40 years, long time. And Tom was one of the biggest and powerful people in the music business back then. And his name was so intimidating. It was. And then you meet him and he's just a person. He had savvy. He signed so many bands, big bands, and had such an amazing track record and an ear for music. He was able to do that. But he was just cool. And here we are, so many years later, we're friends, and he's a really cool cat. So how do I know? I'm not sure when we met. That's impossible for me to say. Impossible. It's all a fog. Oh my goodness. He's a great guy though. He's out there doing his thing right now. I think he's living the good life for sure. But I think he's doing like a podcast now, video series. Yeah. Hanging out with bands and just having fun. He's just doing his thing. All right. Here we go. Do you think the alien in Panama is the real deal, or could it be a fungus called devil? Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I saw. Yeah. I'm gonna admit. You know what? It looks alien. A lot of things look alien, but I had to look away. I mean, after you're just kind of like, yeah. It was. I have to turn on my air conditioning. Hang on, I've had it off all day, and for some reason, all of a sudden, you gotta love a smart home. You just gotta love it. In the old days, you know what it was like. Your dad get up in the middle of the night, going to the thermostat in the hallway, and you're just waiting for him to, because he's going to do it. He's going to go, "Who touched the thermostat?" That was the big no-no. Well, I don't have to do that anymore, man. Do it from your smartphone. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy video. That's a pretty crazy video. I'm with you on that. Okay. Follow up to MWL's question. Do you think that meteorite rock, or okay, hold on. Let's go back to the, do you think that meteorite rock, whatever with the fungus, is real or a hoax? It looks real to me. I don't know if it's alien. Could be. It's crazy, man. That's a fun bit. That is something that I wish I filmed. That's really cool. You know what you do? Imagine getting that in like the 6th grade or the 5th grade. And you put that thing in a little fish tank, take it to class, science class, pop that thing down, 8th grade biology class. Aha, Mr. Jenkins, what do you think of this? What? Yeah, man, look at that. Yeah, right? Man, you would be the cool kid in school. Everybody would be coming over to the house. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Let's see. And this is why I like hanging out with you guys. right now. Jimmy, this is Nemo's Odyssey. What are your top 5 favorite foods, and what is your last meal before Mars attacks? Question of the night, man. Nemo, it's awesome. 5 favorite foods. I think that I can name 5, but I'm going to say this. They're not in any particular order because it depends on the mood. It depends on the mood. All right. So straight up. Number 1, American barbecue. It could be Memphis. It could be Texas. It could be Kansas City. It could be Korean. It just has to be good. Love barbecue. Shredded beef, shredded pork, ribs, chicken. It just doesn't matter, right? Just really good barbecue, American. And then what do you tie into that? Well, you got everything that goes with it. You've got the corn, right? Got to have corn. Man, some kind of crazy ice cold watermelon to go with that. Maybe some macaroni or potato salad, right? Macaroni and cheese. Yeah, that's all star. Just, man. Okay, so there's that. Pizza / Italian. Pizza is almost its own food group, but pizza / Italian will go there. All right. Breakfast. And it could be anything. Could be pancakes, could be waffles, could be omelets, hash browns, sausage, gravy, and biscuits. Orange juice, eggs Benedict. How many times do you have to see me post pictures of eggs Benedict? You know where my heart lies. I love breakfast food. Really, really, really good Chinese. Japanese food is different, and then you got to throw sushi into that. But Chinese, it's just so good. Mexican food, all of it. And so what did you have for dinner the night before is going to dictate what you're going to have for dinner tonight, right? And yeah. I mean, I could go on and on. Break that down. What is better? All right, you ready? What is better? I ask you. My David Hatcher Childers. I ask you. What is better than meatloaf? I ask you. What is better than meatloaf? Prime rib? Sometimes not. No, I don't know. Oh, Thanksgiving. That's a food group. I mean, what is better than meatloaf? Okay, a really, really good Italian meatball with sauce on it. No pasta, just the meatball. Yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it? It's that good. What is better than that? I left off hamburgers. Man, what is better than a hamburger? What is better than a Philly cheesesteak? A French dip, a really good yeah. But then again, a good salad. Before I move on, I have 2 things that I use a lot. I don't talk about it because it's healthy, and I don't want to project health. I don't want to do it, but I think about it a lot. I have a juicer, and I have a heavy duty Vitamix industrial blender. So, and I do basically, the juicer is a juicer. All right. But the Vitamix smoothie thing. So yogurt, whatever the fruit is, my ice maker's right here. Ice goes in, boom, done. And that thing is so powerful that I can make a smoothie. I'm not kidding either. This is, if you have a Vitamix, 20 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 23 seconds if I want to liquefy it. It's so fast. It's just, it's, it's like 3,000 watts. It's crazy. And all those blades. But anyway, instant pour, drink. And that is a big part of my life. I know I talk a big game, deep dish pizzas. I talk a big game with I realize kebabs. I know grilling. I realize that. But man, a good smoothie. And I need to branch out a bit more, but kiwi, strawberries, blueberries, tangerines, apples, bananas, yogurt. I use Greek yogurt, sometimes flavored too as well. I use plain but flavored. And I sometimes I just don't branch out. Peaches, oh, I love peaches, and just I don't know. I have a recipe. It's all in there. Zap, 20 seconds. Love it. All right. So that's another food group for me. That's one of my 5 favorite foods is the Vitamix. Let's see. So many questions. It was fun chatting on your last chat 3 years ago. I called you about Long John Nebel. Okay. We're both fans. The one with Donald Kehoe and Kenneth Arnold. Yeah, it's classic about Armstrong Circle Theater event. Man, that is, so many questions. That's amazing. That particular show by Long John Nebel, with Donald Kehoe coming on, because I think it was the night before the Armstrong Theater presents. So what they did, they were doing this big disclosure thing on UFOs and with the Air Force, and Donald Kehoe was there to debate. And they censored him. And so he decided to go off script at the end. Everything was set and agreed to, and he goes off script. And so what did they do? They faded him out, roll credit, got him off the air, just cut the broadcast. And he was pissed. So he turns around, Kehoe, and he's got a great voice. Man, so they roll credits at the end, and he was so pissed off. And he comes on Long John Nebel the next night. That's right. George Van Tassel. Was it Van Tassel? Kenneth Arnold. Maybe Van Tassel was on the show too, but Kenneth Arnold for sure. And they spent, that was probably 4 hours. That show was a 6-hour show live out of New York. But that show, you're absolutely right. That was classic moment. And Kehoe was right and Kehoe was wrong. He went off script. Censors and the way, that was a different world back then. But here's the thing. The Air Force got to present their view and without any scrutiny, so why wasn't he able to present his view without any scrutiny? But they wouldn't allow it. If he would have written it out and presented it, he might have gotten away with it. They might have let him. But yeah, so many questions bringing up Long John Nebel. So cool. All right, Outcast Jeff, what's your views on the hearing? I think this was the best hearing yet. The Grush hearing was just amazing. But what I thought, it's an evolutionary process on getting these hearings down. And I think that the comfort zone and the level of comfort from everybody in Congress in dealing with this subject is they are more relaxed. Because if you go back, like the first one with Andre Carson, and Andre was like, this is a UFO hearing. UFO means this, and it was stressful. And Andre Carson was amazing, but the way that he had to start off the first hearing in 50 years like that, and he needed to do it that way, but it was too much tension, and things just needed to simmer down. And we had those two guys from the Department of Defense. God, I can't remember their names. who frickin' frack, who were just pumping out misinformation and disinformation and weren't answering. What you know about that? What's the Wilson memo? What have you heard about Roswell? What's a UFO? Oh, okay, all right. Not sure if it was like that. And so, but when you go from that to what we had last week, that was very straightforward and presented well. My only, I didn't want to say this beforehand because I didn't want to, mess anything up. But I was going to say, no, I'm not going to. Should I say it? Should I say it? Should I piss everybody off? I thought to myself, it's going to be awesome if George Knapp does not bring up Bob Lazar. He doesn't bring up Lazar. We've got a clean shot at this, and it's going to be amazing because Knapp is too good. He's going to knock it out of the park. And then what happens? It wasn't Knapp. It was one of the Congress, one of those elected officials, I believe, brought up Lazar. Maybe it was somebody, one of the other witnesses. I thought, here we go. But I was glad that I don't want to muddy the waters right now with Lazar controversy and people arguing about this. I don't think it's really good. I mean, we need to make progress here. We need to keep moving forward, and we'll save Lazar for another day. But I was just happy that it was short-lived. It was just a few. Oh man, I was like, here we go. But it was short. All right, best hearing yet though. I'm looking forward to the next one. All right, here we go. Jimmy, do you ever get together with friends and have jam sessions? I do. What is the go-to song your friends enjoy playing in a hoot? There's always some go-to things. So yeah, I've got a music room around the corner down on the other side of the house. I've got drums, bass amp, a couple of guitar amps in there. I got a PA system, drum set, microphones, lights. It's all set up. It's ready to go, and everything's plugged in. Everything works, and you just walk in and boom. So, what's a go-to song? Most of my friends know every Sabbath tune, and so do I. We've got a pretty good Van Halen catalog. We can always do that. Judas Priest, always a go-to thing. And then there's some offbeat stuff. Leonard Skinner, 38 Special. I'm just like off the top of my Michael Schenker, big time. Lots of, and so just crank through. I mean, we were back there a couple of weeks ago. Had some friends over, and then here's the other thing, because the drums are electronic. It plays through the PA system, but you're not drums, right? So it's not katak. I have a band that's next door. It's like 4 houses down, and it's a big mansion too. Big house, like 4-car garage in the back, and nice house, nice house. But they've got a Mexican band, and they're amazing. And they're down. They practice at least 1 or 2 nights a week, and then one night a month they'll throw a party back there. But they're rehearsing all the time, and all you hear everything if you listen for it. But if the drums are that drummer's like katak, katak, katak. You don't have that in my house. So I have literally jammed all day, like I did 2 weeks ago, all day, all night back there. And I went over to my neighbors, both sides. Said, hey man, were we bothering you yesterday? With what? We were jamming. You were? Oh, I didn't hear anything. How could you not hear anything? Dude, I mean, like, so yeah. Anyway, so we were back there, and the drummer goes, hey man, Panama. I was like, really? Out of everything in Van Halen. But yeah. You know, we just play whatever anybody shouts out. Anybody shouts out. I like anything off of Symptom of the Universe or Sabotage. I like anything off of Technical Ecstasy. I like anything off of Never Say Die. Those 3 albums are my favorite. I just know them front to back. I know all Black Sabbath songs, everyone. So there's that part. And I like the old Fairies Wear Boots, you know, and things. I like jumping into that. And in fact, I think we played that the other day. So there you go. Yeah. There's other songs too, but that's a great question. It's a great question. Do I have Native American ancestry? I think we all do. I don't know. I don't know. I have never done the DNA ancestry thing. And you know why? I don't want my DNA to be given to the 3-letter agencies or used or manipulated or done. No, my DNA is my own. I don't care. But once you let that go, it can be bought and sold. No matter what they tell you, you do a DNA testing thing, and that company goes bankrupt or bought by somebody else, and it's a venture capital firm, and with seed money from DARPA and the CIA. Which has happened. I'm not making it up. It's a true story. I'm not going to be part of that. So I'll never know. I will never know. Okay. Jimmy, what's your favorite Bob Marley song? And have you been to Jamaica? I have not been to Jamaica. Have not. God, man, been by there. No, I haven't been to Jamaica. Favorite Bob Marley song? No Woman, No Cry? Maybe. A better question would be, what's your favorite Burning Spear song? Ooh, that's right. This guy just dropped Burning Spear. Such a hard music to play if you have been raised and taught music from another school. It could be anything: classical, country, rock, whatever, 4 on the floor, and then you go into even salsa is easier to learn if you come from a generic musical background, 2/4/4/4, and salsa, like Santana, adapting that. Well, you can kind of understand and get into what salsa is. Reggae, that's a whole no. It's hard. It's hard, but because the Jamaican musicians, you're right. That's it. That's all second nature. Now try to get them to play some 4 on the floor. It's tough. It's tough. Man, I love Bob Marley. I love all reggae. Do you ever have people on your program with their experience UFO? I'm not sure what that is. That's from Bo Hall. It's not in all caps. I just happened to see it. Bo, put that in all caps and clarify the question, and I'll get back to it. Have I been to, this is from, no, I have not. Have you been to Moab, Colorado River? Yes and no. I haven't been to Moab specifically. I haven't. Colorado River, yes. I saw pictures recently of the wave up in northern Nevada. Holy, I had no idea. I'm taking my Harley up there soon. But anyway, I've got the Jeep and there's the Moab run, and I plan on doing that for like 3 years in a row now, and I haven't pulled it off, but I would love to go to Moab for sure. Um, Jimmy, on a 1 to 10 scale, how do you rate yourself? I'm a 5. I'm a 5. I'm a 5. Let's see. Jimmy, can you show us your night vision goggles and how they work? They're right there in the cabinets here in my studio. They're over there, but I would have to get up during. Well, I couldn't show you how they work on the air, but I can show them to you. We're going to take a break and I'll grab them. I have like 3 pair. I'll see. I have a bunch of night vision gear right there. I'm pointing at the cabinet door. I'm pretty sure it's right there. If it's not there, I'm not going to go look. I've only got a minute. But yeah, I'll grab those. That's high-tech redneck. That's a picture of a tractor. That's very cool. Lamborghini tractor. All right. Look who it is. My favorite tarot reader in the world, Esperanza. Man, she is wonderful. Man, you guys need to hang out with Esperanza. And I'm going to see her again next year. On pitch. Jimmy, we never had dinner or reading. She took the words right out of my mouth. But can we? I'll even speak Spanish. Esperanza, we can do whatever you want. All right. Why don't we go to dinner a whole night to ourselves? We'll go to dinner and do readings at dinner, and we'll close the restaurant and we'll rock this thing. That's what we'll do. And you don't have to worry about driving home because you live a block away, right? So there's none of that. There's no excuses. There isn't any of that. And I don't have an excuse because I can't go home. So there you go. All right. So it's a date. I'm excited about this already. I've got something to look forward to you know what? Everybody needs to come out to the expo, the Modalities Expo in Wisconsin at Delavan Lake. It's a beautiful resort, beautiful lake resort, ginormous resort with everything there that it's world class with an amazing staff, you know, great food, great people, just cool, great atmosphere. So come on and hang out with all of us. Yeah, it's going to be really cool this year. I'm very excited. So Esperanza, yeah, it's all you. Whatever you make the plan, I'll make the plan. We'll just one night, you and I, good food and a deck of cards. Okay? All right. And you can do it in Spanish too. That'd be cool. All right. Let's see. I can barely speak English and I am American. See, Dewey, I just got to your question. So I've got to speed this up. Okay, Jose Sanchez. What do you think about persistent rumors about a time machine that our military had been toying with for some time and then abruptly canceled their secret program? I don't think that would have been canceled. We have to. God, it's such a complex subject. When we talk about time machines and time travel, what are we actually referring to? Are we going with the H.G. Wells time machine? You sit in it, you set the date, boom, and it takes you physically there. You step out of the time machine and you're hanging out, right? Okay. There's that. Or is it something where you're jumping into a new timeline in an alternate dimension and up and down from there, and it's operating in that capacity. If somebody comes at us from the far future, all right, and comes here, are they coming back to the same timeline that their ancestors from a billion years in the future originated from? Here's the problem with that. That's why I think that time travel is achieved in different ways. The amount of particles is finite. So if you, in the universe, right? So if you suddenly have a body, a person moving around forwards and backwards in time, you are adding and subtracting atoms and particles from the universe. And I don't think the universe will like that. I'm talking about implosion, like black hole, end of everything madness. All right. So, and this is all theoretical, and this is the way that my mind works, but it's how I've come to understand things and how science works. So I'm not sure, but I think that time travel is real. I've seen too many examples of it, not only that I've read, but my own experience. So, but what is it? So I think that the only way to not upset things is that you experience or you see the other timeline or the other dimension without physically doing it, because it's the atom count, it's the particle count. You know, suddenly the universe is, and if ever, I think it would only happen once, and then this timeline disappears because we blow it up, because we implode. One shot at the experiment, and we don't know that it failed or not because we're vaporized. We're demolecularized. Yeah. Yeah, but time travel's real. Yeah, time travel's real. Jimmy, which cryptid interests you the most? Which cryptid? It's a Bigfoot. I got to go Bigfoot. Mothman, Chupacabra, pterodactyls, Thunderbirds. I'm going Bigfoot. Yeah, I'm going Bigfoot. Great question, Julie, and that's an honest answer. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight is our AMA AJA, where you get to ask me anything. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go get those night vision goggles, and I'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get your alerts and access to over 2,000 videos. Click that subscribe button right now. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and get the Fade to Black official podcast. 2,000 episodes, all of them commercial free for just $2 a month. Watch Into the Vortex on Gaia TV. It's fade to black for the screen. Simple to do. Go to Gaia.com, search Jimmy Church, or click on the link below. Follow Fade to Black on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Get all of the show updates every single day. It's now called X, but who cares? How you doing? Jimmy Church here. Special announcement. Get your Fade to Black t-shirts. That's right. Help support the show. Help support everything that we do over here. We've got 2 t-shirts. We've got 2 ways to get them. Get your Fade to Black t-shirt today. Go Backley Tappy. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and become a Fadernaut. Get a membership. That's right. Everything is commercial free. You have access to downloads, and you get to call yourself a Fadernaut.
Jimmy Church, Gaia TV, Fade to Black, here at Machu Picchu with Brian Forster and Hidden Inca Tours. Amazing tour so far, Brian, but we're here to announce what we're going to do next year in 2026. What's going on?
Okay, November 2026, we're going to have our major tour of Peru and Bolivia, either a pre or post tour of Paracas and Nazca on the coast. And then after that, 6 days in Easter Island.
Bucket list, Easter Island. Come join Brian and I and his amazing team here at Hidden Inca Tours for Peru, Bolivia, and Easter Island. Signing out. Say goodbye, Brian.
Bye, gang.
River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Truly the best coffee on planet Earth. Just visit rivermoonwellness.com or their Amazon store. It's all simple to do. You can check out the Fade to Black blend, the Game Changer blend, or any of their Black Moon Wellness products. It's the only coffee I drink. It is the best, and it's Doc. Again, rivermoonwellness.com.
All right. Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight is our AMAAJA, where you get to ask me anything. And we do this once a month. Post your questions in the YouTube live chat in all caps. Before the break, somebody asked me about night vision goggles. These are my night vision. And I can't show you how they work on camera, but so these are my night vision. These are called Gen 3 Plus. Very simple to operate. Focus, once there's a lens cap on there, but anyway, so focus, adjust one eye. Once you do that, it's just point and shoot. And you look up. One switch on off. That's it. And these are obviously military grade. They've got a helmet mount and all of that if you want to, swing them up and swing them down. So these are what I use. These run about can be pricey, depends on which gen you get, but these can be anywhere from $1,500 to about $3,000. These are Gen 3 pluses. A few grand, $2,500 to $3,000, depending on where you get them. Totally worth it though, because one of the things that I love to do with people that have never used these before is the first time I tell them, look at the sky, look at the stars. What do you see? Okay, take a good look. Now look through these and watching their reaction. Oh my, what? Because it's insane. You go from, if you look up with the naked eye, you could see, 3, 4, 5,000 stars. There's numbers out there about this. But you put those on and now you're hundreds of thousands. It's insane. It's insane what you end up seeing. So there's that part, but then there's all the movement out there. But here's the Here's the thing about this technology, and what I'm going to go deeply philosophical for a second. A fish will never know what a butterfly is. Its entire life will never know or see a butterfly. A butterfly will never see a fish or know what it's about. And that goes with so many species here on this planet, right? Humans are the only thing on planet Earth that can experience everything and wonder about it and ask about it, consider it, ponder it. What it's like to be a fish, what it's like to be a butterfly, what it's like to be a hummingbird or an eagle or a rhinoceros or a jaguar, right? Or even another human being. And then turn around and take that into deep space. We are able to consider and experience everything. It's tremendous. And so I back up and think about something that deep, right? That's a deep, deep, deep thought. And so when you go, how I'm kind of bummed for fish, right? To not be able to experience watching a hummingbird or a bee. But the flip side, bees, that hold this planet together, have no idea, what a dolphin is or an octopus and the world that they're in. But we as humans can. And we can wonder what it's like to be an octopus with 8, 9 brains, and or what it's like to be, the world of a dolphin or the world of an eagle. We, a lion, a tiger. We have that ability to think about it, talk about it, tell stories about it, experiences. It's insane. And we do it so much that we build gear like this so we can turn around and experience and wonder what it's like out there. What is going on? That's what these do. So when I'm saying to you, I have somebody look up at the sky and then put those on and watch their reaction. Whoa. Well, yeah. It would be like taking a fish and pulling him out of the water and introducing him to a butterfly. Whoa. It's like that. But we, as humans, we just take it so for granted that, to the point where this is what we do for sport, tourism, going to concerts, going to other countries, food, cruises, concerts, things where we can go out and experience culture, and it's experience art and languages and go to a zoo or go to other countries and see. I had read a fact the other day about Panama, and I didn't know that Panama's got over 1,000 species of birds. Personally, I've heard 500 of them loudly. But yeah, and so you are able to go and do this and experience it. But animals can't. If you give a monkey, a chimpanzee, a set of night vision goggles and have them look at the sky, do they understand what they're looking at? I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. I don't know. All right. I just ripped philosophy as far as I want to take it. Gizmo says, Jimmy, what is the one thing you want to let go of in 2025? Okay, I can tell you one thing I don't that I don't want to let go of that I've let go of. Carbs. I've let go of potatoes and breads. As painful as it is, I've done that. And I enjoy all of that so much. I don't want to get back on the bandwagon. I have limited myself to something like pizza once every couple of months. Once. A slice. But that's it. But no potato, no French fries. No, nothing. No mashed potatoes. Nothing. I haven't man, I used to keep a loaf of sourdough bread on the countertop, French bread, cooking with it all the time. And oh man, grilled ham and cheese sandwich. No, I just don't do it anymore. So I'm going to stick to that. I'm pretty happy where I am though. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything I need to let go of right now. I've been working pretty hard at being balanced and good. Let's see. Have you ever had any dealings with drummer James Kotek? In Hollywood, everybody has. He's a cool dude. Yeah. James Kotek. Man, that just came out of nowhere. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Great guy. Uber talented. What do you think life will be like in 10 years? Okay, let's see here. Hold on. Oh, in the year 2035. It's the year 2525. Remember that song? Wow. Who sang that song? It's the year 2525. And I never thought that we would get here. And here we are in 2025. Oh, that's 2525, not 20 in the year 2025. No, it's in the year 2525. All right. What do you think life will be like in 10 years, the year 2035? Just like I said during COVID, I hope that all of the madness that is happening in the world right now is a lesson that we take heed and learn from. And just, you go back to the 1960s and what was going on then, including the 70s and everything that we have done, where it seemed like we made progress, but tensions were always there. They were always simmering in the background, and evidence of it. Things ignited quickly around the country for different reasons. So it's always simmering. It's always there. But I'm just hoping. I mean, I look at my daughters and their generation and how cool they are and how they appreciate the planet and how compassionate they are. And so apolitical and non-political. And I really did. And man, they just need to grow up and take hold of everything. The world will be a better place. And I think that we're getting there. So in 10 years, I hope that we really mature. You know how it was for you. When you were 20, you were crazy. When you were 21, you were crazy. You're doing crazy stuff. And then suddenly 22, 23, 24 rolls around, and it's insane how quickly you grow up. The brain doesn't stop its development until around the age of 25. So your brain is still growing and developing and connecting through that whole period. And that's why, the age of 24, 25, you start to take life a little more serious. And that's where we are as a human race. I think we're still around, we're stuck at 21, 22. Let's hope we blast through it and grow up, and 2035 will be a whole different time. Yeah. I really do. I think that we're going to grow up. Eventually the madness. Yeah. Jimmy, would you choose to live forever if you had the opportunity? I had this conversation with Linda Moulton Howe over the weekend. And I asked Linda that question. I said, Linda, if you could take a pill that would reverse your aging, would you take it? She goes, yep. Sure would. I would take it. I would take it. And she didn't even hesitate. And then she turned to me and she goes, would you? I said, well, now that you've pointed out the positive, yeah, I guess I would. I guess I would. She's 83 years old, and you have to eventually face some serious things at that age, right? You're considering all kinds of things that creep up on you slowly, but when you get to 83, and you're probably having those thoughts every day. I'm 61. I'm going to be 62 next month. That's right. And so, yeah, what have I done? What have I accomplished? What would I still like to do? What is it that makes me happy? And what is life all about? And you really start to get at that point, because I need to get to the end of some questions. I need some stuff answered. Who are we? What happens after we die? Why are we here? Are we alone in the universe? These 3-4 fundamental questions still largely remain unanswered. We've got lots of experiences and people that talk about this stuff, and it's all been written about and speculated over and over and over and over again. Do we have the definitive answer on any of that? No, we don't. And I think that once one question gets answered, then we could probably answer the next one and the next one and the next one, because I think that they're all related. But I would like to, in my lifetime, get to and see these answers. Yeah. And that's where I'm at. Considering you were very skeptical of the telepathy tapes initially, how has your perception changed after the Psy games? And that's from Android Paranormal. It wasn't that I was skeptical of the telepathy tapes. The way that they presented it forced me to ask some difficult questions. Okay, the telepathy tapes by themselves are fine. When you combine it with the way that you build it up in your mind, and then you combine it with the video stuff that they have, you are able to step back and go, oh, okay, that's not quite how I was picturing this stuff going down. That's it. And it's good. It's a good, healthy place to be with something like that. You've got to remain skeptical. You have to, right? All right. But we all have the gift. We all do. And I've mentioned it so many times. The thing that the connectedness that I have with my daughter is insane. It's so much fun. It's crazy. We're reading each other's minds all the time. So I realize it's there. To practice it, when you see Dahlia and her daughter, and you see them in action, and you see, that's astounding. It's crazy. So it's not that I've doubted or didn't believe. It's that the way that I think they made mistakes in the way that they presented it on the tapes, and then turn around and supported it with the video side. And for me, this is me personally, it didn't match up. And it was only because I listened to the telepathy tapes like 2 or 3 times and had a visual of how all of this stuff was going down. And then you turn around and you watch the video stuff, and every scene, what people are saying, you're familiar with, you can see the video, and you know exactly where it is in the telepathy tapes. And for me, it wasn't what I had pictured in my mind. And that was a mistake on their part. I would have handled it differently. But you know what? You don't know until you go through it. Diane Hennessy is amazing. I look forward to their next round. They're going to do a part 2 coming up, and it's going to be good. Dewey says, I didn't realize it was on the opposite side of the sun. Yeah, I know. So that's all. I totally get that. That's why I'm here, brother. He's talking about James Webb Space Telescope and shooting 3I Atlas. That's why I'm here, man. Now you know. Okay, Jimmy, Jimmy, what are your beliefs about the moon landing and aliens there? Wow. It's one of those questions, right? It's tough. It's hard to imagine that they could pull off faking the moon landings. It's also equally as daunting to think that they actually did do the moon landings with the technology, because we're struggling with it today. Here we are, 2025, 50 years later, man. 50 years later, and we're still wondering how we're going to get to the moon. So it makes you wonder how we did it back then. So there's that. But then faking it is crazier still. I don't know. I don't know. Now, then you have the aliens aspect of it, and some of the data that has been presented about the moon being artificial, right? It's a satellite. It was brought here. It was towed here. It's not, it's the, there's that. There's some compelling evidence for that. There really is. It's too perfect. It's too perfect. What are the odds of that? So there's that part. Now, when you go back and listen to the communication between Houston and NASA and the astronauts there's some really weird things. Yeah, they're there. They're watching us. Who? And if we were ET and we were going to another planet that had a moon like ours, we would build a moon base first. Absolutely. It's just convenient. Stay out there, go and visit, go back, stay out, and right now these aliens on this planet don't have a way of, they don't have rockets yet, they don't have electricity yet, they don't have anything. It's there's still bows and arrows and fire. So let's build a base out here on the moon, and we just go and visit and come back, go and visit and come back, and you do that for 1 million years or so. But then one day they're launching a rocket to the moon, and you've got to run and hide. And it's kind of the way it went down. So I don't know. That's Jennifer, that's a great question. Nick B comes in with, have you ever seen Arrival with Charlie Sheen? I have. I've seen that movie many times, and it's excellent. Excellent movie. Excellent. Not to be confused with Arrival. Amy, what's her name? I just brain freezed. But yeah, Arrival with Charlie Sheen. Excellent movie. Great screenwriting, great idea. Yeah, it's really cool. Let's see. What did you do before Fade to Black? I did sportscasting before this. That started in 2008. Before that, I was in the music industry and played guitar, produced bands, and was in sales, music sales. So yeah. And then went back to school for broadcast, and here I am. So, and I did that and went back to school 20 years ago. So there you go. And that was from Supremus Maximus. That's a great name, actually. Really cool. All right. Let's see. Oh, man. So much fun. So much fun. Unknown Is that user? Unknown user. If you were the first to spot a meteor, what would you name it? Church. Yeah. Church. What would you name it? Name it Church. Would Jimmy work? No, it could be Jimmy anything. So yeah, yeah. What's the movie? Don't Look Up. God, I'm trying to think of Jennifer's screen name. She had that Polish name. Comet. See, Don't Look Up. Don't Look Up. Don't Look Up. Jennifer Lawrence. Her character's name was man, I literally Dibieski. Comet Dibieski. Jennifer Lawrence. Kate Dibieski. Yeah, Kate Blanchett was amazing. She was Meryl Streep, so good, Leonardo. But Comet Dibieski, that's what you do. You name it after yourself. Yeah, I think that's protocol, isn't it? Is there another way to do it? Can you name it Spot? I don't know. I think that's what we would do. Okay, this is long. Hansel, Jimmy, have you ever heard the expression or notion of guided entanglement drive as a means of propulsion as opposed to entanglement as randomly occurring phenomena universe from any guest? Okay. This is strong. That's a strong question. And something that I have looked into and I have researched. Here is entanglement is a misunderstood thing by most people, and physicists in explaining it don't get to the basics and explain to people actually what is going on. All right, how do you? This is a very basic principle. How do you entangle two particles? How do you do it? Do they have to touch each other? This is where it gets strange. So how is it that particles on the other side, opposite sides of the universe remain connected and affect each other's state? Were they once connected? Did they touch at some point in time? Is there something else that is entangling them over those distances? Well, let's take it a step further. All right. When you shake somebody's hand, when you give somebody a hug, when you headbutt somebody, are you now permanently entangled? Think about that. So, guided entanglement, the ideas behind that are strong and powerful. But in the theoretical state, we have to address all of the things that I just, in the very basic fundamental forms, ask these questions. How do things get entangled? How does this happen? And I don't, to suggest that, well, okay, so the particles, they touch each other, they come in close proximity of each other. When you shake somebody's hand, holy crap, trillions of particles just entangled then, right? You headbutt somebody. Think about that. You hug somebody. All right. Your family, your coworkers, the people that you are around all day long, you brush up against them. Is suddenly everything entangled? Which I have mentioned this on the show before, is the entire universe, is every particle in the entire universe entangled with another particle already? And how do you figure out that mess? So with guided entanglement drives, the fundamental things need to be addressed, not in a theoretical sense, in a tested and observed way, in a measured way. Because random entanglement is another consideration that is right there in front of everybody. Entanglement, I get it. I understand that it's been tested. It's there. It's been proven. One particle changes its spin. Other particle changes its spin at the exact same time. All right. How did they become entangled? And if that's the case, like I said, right, you brush against a stranger on a sidewalk in New York, bump into each other, spill coffee. Oh, I'm sorry. It's cool. Maybe you fist bump and you wipe somebody down. Are you guys entangled for the rest of your life? Having weird thoughts. Man, why did I think that? Oh man. Yeah. It's how do you measure? How do you do it? Thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel? Yeah, I talked about this earlier today. I knew it was probably going to come up too as well. We're all thinking about it. I've watched what he said, like we all have, and I was like, how is this different than anything else? From any side of the fence, from anything, how is it? I don't know. I didn't I didn't find it offensive. If you go back and you look at the satire and you look at the political comics and stuff that have been around and posters and whatever, cartoons, movies, and you look at any of that has been out there forever, completely offensive to somebody. I mean, wow. Go watch Blazing Saddles. Okay? Go watch Blazing Saddles. And just but any of that. This is just something that has been it's kind of weird. I didn't feel it. I didn't see it. I honestly, if this controversy hadn't have arisen around it, I would have never paid attention because I haven't watched Jimmy Kimmel or any late night or any regular TV. Man, 20, 25 years. I don't pay attention to it. I would have never known about it. And if I would have seen that live, it would have just blown right past me. It didn't seem that, it wasn't that funny. It wasn't that special. I don't get it. But, it's a different world that we live in today. Yeah. So, and I'm not so sure that what happened, what Jimmy said was offensive. It's that people are saying that it's offensive and the media is saying it's offensive. And suddenly you've got Russian and Chinese bots coming in and telling us what we should think and not think, and invading our bubbles and creating thought processes that probably would have never been there if yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Jimmy just wanted to retire. Maybe he was making those comments back in 2022. It's like, man, I'm done. I'm trying to figure my way out of here. I think his contract was up this year. It's up, it's coming up, and he's been at this for 20 years. At what point Do you, some people choose not to, but at what point do you just take your money and go on vacation and enjoy yourself and go do some other stuff? Maybe produce or direct some movies or do a TV series. Get out and just go enjoy life after you put in 20 years of that show. That's a long time. So, maybe it was his out. I don't know. It just seems to me that let's see. I was just reading that Jimmy likes the AMA so much because it's a subject he's been studying for almost 62 years. Yeah, since birth. Pastrami, pie, pastrami. That's Esperanza. Is that what you want? Our date night is going to be pastrami and pie. Could it be, and tarot card, a deck? Could it be any more perfect? A pastrami in Wisconsin. Man, I bet that's good. A pie in Wisconsin. Yeah. Pizza, beer, pasta, tacos, barbecue. Yeah, see, right? We're all on the same page. Is that? Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to speed up. Jimmy, what do you think the timing for all these celestial events? I know. Yeah. No, I mentioned this earlier today. I'm feeling a little targeted. I mean, what's next? I have the feeling if we have a third pop up, then you know what I mean? 2, 1, can't count Oumuamua, but so 3i Atlas, now S2, and that there, okay. All right. So now we're getting beyond, a little bit beyond crazy, but if a third comes in, yeah, that's I'm feeling a little targeted too. I'm gonna blast through these. Let me see how quick I can get to everybody. Jeez, man, you guys are crazy. Look at all this stuff. I'm scrolling past now. That's not really cool. There's probably some gems in here. Probably some gems. This is where I should have somebody do this in front of me and just go through and just tag the best stuff. Is there anyone special in your life? Interesting. I meant a supposed machine. Yeah, I know. Jose talking about time travel. Is there anyone special in your life? No. I got friends that I hang out with and stuff, but no, I'm married to my work and my job and this community and all of you, that keeps me busy. And that's it. Without getting crazy deep in this, like I've got to lay down on the couch and talk through this. It's just that I have motioned into going with the flow into this lifestyle that I have, which is constant travel, constant taping of TV shows, fade to black, and just trying to squeeze in my Harley and a little downtime, which I have very little of. And so is there space for anything else? There isn't. There isn't any space. I don't go out. I don't, a club. I don't do any of that stuff. I have people come over. We go out. I have a certain very small group of friends. There's probably 10 of us, 15 of us. And they all know who they are. And we hang out. And I usually ask to keep all of that stuff private. I need my private time where I just enjoy it so much. Having the ability. All right, let me wax some more philosophical here. One of the things that I enjoy is being able to go somewhere and talk about anything but this show or the community or what's going on or my experiences or your experience or just going out and and not being it's a hard thing to explain where I just talk to somebody some stranger that doesn't know anything about what I do. And we can just start from ground zero and just talk about stuff. I love that. I love that. I love meeting people new. I get introduced to somebody that has no idea about this community. And then we can go off and talk about anything else. Talk about animals. Talk about food. Talk about motorcycles, remote control cars. I don't care. Golf balls. I don't care. Yeah, just have a conversation. What did you do today? What do you do for a living? Oh, that's amazing. Tell me about it. What's that like? And I can just do that. So, yeah. Do you have any update on Damon T. Barry? I do not. I haven't heard from Damon T. Barry in years. In years. Esperanza. All right. Let's see. I'm just looking for all caps, everybody. It's got to be all caps. Put it in all caps, and these old eyes will see it. Before we run out of time. I've got an atomic clock right here. It's ginormous. I wish you could see it. It's big. It's red. I mean, it's probably, I can't even get both hands in. Let me scoot over. It's probably that wide with 3 feet. Big red. And it's staring at me. It's telling me to get busy. Hager and Evans sang the song 2525. Thank you, Louis, Bill, Charlie. Let's see. That was a good song, man. When I was a kid, that was a toe tapper. That was a toe tapper. Man, I like that whole era of that type of music. Just so those bands were so into the future and singing about the future, Age of Aquarius, the Fifth Dimension. What was that Classical Gas? Man, I mean, stuff was just so good back then. All right. Classical Gas. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. I haven't remembered that for years. Man, you guys are just chatting away. Jimmy, have you seen Gene Ward's YouTube channel showing all the artifacts on Mars? I have not. Okay, hold on for a second. What is it? Gene Ward YouTube Mars. Okay, this better work. One shot at this, Jack the Lad. Gene Ward satellite did crash this shape. Oh, wow. Okay, here we go. Oh, Jean. I think it's he's French. Okay. I have seen this recently. Yes. I have seen it. I've seen the image. Yeah. Here, and thank you for that, Jack the Lad. I have seen it. For everybody wants to know, Jean. Is it Jean? Jean. Maybe his name's Gene. Is it Jean? He's only got, is it 874,000 subscribers? 908 videos. Is that right? Or is it 8.7? Man, I don't have my glasses on. I've said it so many times. You look at Perseverance, you look at the high-res images of Mars, of the surface of Mars. If you don't see something that is strange that sticks out in those videos, you're blind. It's everywhere. So, and there's just a million images on the NASA website, high res, and it takes a lot to scan and look at those. I've done it. I have spent days, weekends. The image is just, eyes are blood red, bloodshot, and I'm scrolling and zooming in and look image after image, and I'm only looking at 50 or 100 images. There's so much. So it's out there. Have you ever seen the home video of Bruce Lee winning ping pong with nunchucks? Yes, I have seen that. Even more, this is from iSphere. I'll tell you what's even more impressive than that. I think it's in San Jose, California. Bruce Lee is at like the his first international karate exhibition in San Jose. It's like the World Amateur Championships or something. And you watch, it's black and white, and you everybody's out there doing their thing, right? And Bruce gets up there. He is so fast that you can't see him. Now we know that today, but I'm saying in this home video, and you're watching this, and Bruce Lee's like, those people, those contestants that were going up against me, they had never seen hands like that. They've never seen feet like that. It reminds me of it's coming at you like, when I was a kid, I was like 15 years old, and a neighbor of ours who was a friend of mine since grade school, Nate, Golden Gloves boxer, same age as me. All right. We put on the gloves. I might have been 16. Put on the gloves in my driveway. My dad had boxing gloves in the garage. I don't know why he had them. I didn't even know. Anyway, so and Nate was, I was talking smack. He was talking smack and whatever. And we put on the gloves, and we stand out in the driveway. I think my dad was grilling burgers. My mom was sitting there on the steps with my brother David. Our neighbors are there. Randy Smiley's there. Mark Pratt is there. I remember that. There was probably a half dozen of us kids in the front yard. And I lace up, man. I put on the gloves. And I looked right at Nate. Right? Just like this is how it happened. I looked right at Nate like this. Just like that. The next thing I remember was looking up at everybody from the ground. I was on my back. And I was like, why is everybody standing like that? And they were all looking at me like this. And that's when I realized that I was on my back. I was on the ground. I didn't see the punch. Nope. Didn't see it. Didn't see it coming. And that's what Bruce Lee did in San Jose. He didn't see that stuff coming. Let's see. Do you believe it's a soul container thing? I do. Well, no, John B, that's a great question. I think that it's possible. Yeah. Yeah. The whole soul container idea is strong. When you sit down with Linda, William Henry, these other thought, even Richard Dolan has discussed this. I've sat and talked with Richard about this, and Whitley Strieber. You get a group together like that, and you start discussing soul containers and the possibilities of this. You get 3, 4, 5 different takes on it because everybody has thought about it. Linda, I think, first threw it out there, and it's an amazing concept. Yeah. Jimmy, thank you. It's an amazing concept. I would like to do a whole show on that. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, Roger. Thank you so much for that. Lacerita files, reptiles. What do you think? Man, I don't know. I'm supposed to know all of this. What is this? Lacerita Lacerda files, reptiles. I can't. I just don't remember everything. Yeah. I've read these. I forget that they were called Lacerda. That is totally right. What I when I first read this, there were a few. They're not around anymore. It was there were a few researchers that talked about their knowledge of deep ancient history of the universe, our star system, our galaxy, who lived here, who ruled what, who was in battle here, that. And I would listen to these presentations and just go, wow, where's this coming from? And how did they remember this? It's very, and the Lacerda files were right there amongst this. And I had reached out to a few of the people that I listened to back in the early days about coming on to Fade to Black, and they're, how do I say that? They stopped all of them, stopped talking about it and just kind of disappeared out of the community. And then I started to lose interest in it because I was racking it up, in my opinion, to just really good science fiction, and that people were feeding off of each other's ideas. But I found it fascinating. There is another book out similar to the Lacerda files that was a secretary, an assistant at Wright Pat. I forget her name. And she assisted with the interviewing of an alien gray, an NHI. And only because she somehow developed a friendship with this gray, and this gray and her communicated, and a whole book she transcribed everything, all of the interviews and everything that was said between, was published into a book. I can't remember what it. Somebody should throw it up here, and it's very similar to the Lacerda files. It's very interesting, and so yeah, I've always been drawn to that part of the subject, and have enjoyed it. What is the deep history of it? Were there really, when you look at Foundation, look at Star Wars, look at Star Trek, these ideas of these civilizations, that the movie Dune, right? The books, when you look at those concepts, have to, even though it's fiction, have to be true. And what do I mean by that? The universe is too big of a place. It's too old that civilizations have risen to the infinite and probably have fought each other, galactic empires, and then faded away. Maybe went to another universe, used up all the resources locally, and went to another galaxy and another side of the, and but it just seems that has to be the way that it is. When you look at Bennu, you look at RNA, you look at DNA, you look at proteins, and you look at these amino acids and these basic sugars that are floating around in the vacuum of space on the backs of meteorites and meteors and asteroids, and smacking into different planets and creating life all over the universe. The universe is full of stuff just like Earth, full of it to the brim. It's everywhere. So why wouldn't there be a situation like the Lacerda files, deep galactic empires rising and falling? Yeah, makes sense. and here's the trippy part. All right, I'll leave you with this. Why would we know? Why? How? Well, let me explain. We, Earth, humans, have had history for 5,000 years that we know of. Written history. You go back to the Narmer palette in Egypt, the first example of a written language, and the first, the king that unified Egypt. Before that, were there countries? Well, okay, we can speculate. There's theory. That's not what let's just go with the basics. Humans here for 5,000 years. 5,000 years. What is that in the time and distance of space? It's nothing. It's smaller than nothing. So how would we know? This stuff has come and gone around us, and we're right here with this little 5,000 year window, this speck, this little insignificant nano nothing of our existence. How minor is it? How minor is it? Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, the farthest objects man-made from Earth, right? Here's the fact that I want you to chew on. The universe, the observable universe, is 95 billion light years across. It takes light 95 billion years to cross from one side of the universe to the other. Okay? 95 billion light years. Okay? Are you ready? Voyager 2 has traveled 1 light day. That's it. 1 light day. That's how insignificant. It's crazy. But yet we have developed things like this, the James Webb Space Telescope. We are not the fish or the butterfly. We are able to discuss these subjects on this show. Very deep, profound, heavy questions and thoughts. And that's where we are today. We're getting very, very, very close to understanding what is out there and how it's out there. We're very close. Very close. And I think that when the dam breaks, fingers in the dike, right? You pull that, when that dam breaks, a lot of information is going to come flooding in. And I think now we are at the point of being able to understand it. We're very, very close. So there you go. All right. Today is my Friday. It is your Thursday. Everybody just have a great, fun, safe, and amazing weekend. It's always so much fun to sit here and do an AMA with all of you. I blasted through all of the questions. I think there's probably some extras now here at the end. But thank you so much. I'll see everybody right back here on Monday. Just have a great time. Be safe. Don't get arrested. Do everything that I would do, right? Take it to the next level. Just stay out of jail. All right? So until Monday, I want you to know that all I've got is Go Backly Tappy.
Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Special thanks to Bill, John, Dex, Jessica, Dennis, and Kevin. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music by Doug Aldrich. Intro, Space Boy. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2024 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go back, Lee Tappy.